Hello, my name is Lacey Steele. I just completed my first week of marathon training. It is January 13th, 2024, and I am training to run the Utah Valley Marathon on June 1st this year. I'm currently living in Lubbock, Texas. Here we are. I'm making these videos. Not that I think I'm gonna put them anywhere or anything like that, but I want to make these to kind of mark my progress and to help me reflect on how my marathon training's going, and I don't know, maybe in the process to reflect upon experiences I've already had as a runner and track and see. I think there's so many things to running. There's so many influencers out there. My algorithm is full of influencers telling me to try these different things. And it's interesting because some of these people, they run full time. Some of these people are professional runners. Some of these people are amateurs. And then some opinions are great, some opinions are okay, and some of them suck. But it's interesting to be on the other end, receiving it all and kind of trying to figure out what type of running works for me. I've been running for 5+ years pretty regularly. I used to be a big trail runner in Utah, but now that I'm here in Lubbock, Texas, one of the flattest places on earth, there's not a whole lot of opportunity to do elevation runs or trail runs. So I've gotten more into distance running. I ran my first half marathon in Dallas last year on Thanksgiving, and it went really great. I never thought I would be one to run half marathons or marathons. Never thought I had it in me. So I kind of used this half marathon just to see what it'd be like. I'm not really good about regimens. I like to do my own thing. I don't like to be told how to pace myself, but I did follow this half marathon training plan, and I went out there on Thanksgiving and did really well. And a couple days later, the idea started coming to my head, like, hey, maybe I should go out for a marathon, try marathon training this year. So here we are in January, a couple months later, getting back into it. This week, I ran 24 miles. Just to break down, on Monday, I did a 4-mile interval sprint workout. So I ran a mile, and then at a sprint pace, or at a faster pace than usual. I think I did it at about 7.5 miles per hour on the treadmill. And then I'd walk, and I repeat that 4 times. I'm hoping to be able to do at least mile intervals or sprint intervals at least once a week for either 30 to 40 minutes. Because that really helped me during my half marathon. So I did that on Monday. On Tuesday, I was supposed to do my long run, and it was supposed to be a long recovery run. And a mile and a half into it, my husband called me and said his car battery died. So I had to give up halfway through that run, sprint back to my car, so it ended up not being a recovery run. It was only about 3 miles. Then on Wednesday, I just did it easy, another 3 miles. Thursday, we rested, and then Friday, I did 6 miles, which didn't feel great, to be honest. I did not love that 6-mile run, but to be fair, we're living in Lubbock, Texas, and from January to March is super duper windy. So I was running against 16, 17 mile per hour winds, which sucks. I would seriously rather run in the snow than have to run in the wind, because it is awful. So it didn't feel great on that one, but just finished working a long soccer tournament over the weekend. Came home from that soccer tournament, didn't want to be outside any longer. So I just hit my gym, and we just did 2 slow miles on the treadmill. So when I added it up, I believe it was 22 miles. I'm gonna say 23, 24, just because I know all those runs I said. I ended up running maybe a little bit more than that, like a quarter mile, half a mile more. So we'll say 23, 24 miles for our first week, which is great. I didn't have a whole lot of time this week, so it's good. But the one thought I've been thinking about today, and the one thing that seems to be on my Instagram algorithm, is this whole concept of how a lot of your running needs to be done in zone 2 training. In other words, a lot of your running needs to be done at about 60 to 70% of your max heart rate. And I thought that was such BS. When I trained for my half marathon, I'm like looking at my heart rate during my runs. I'm always in the 160s and the 170s, regardless of where my heart rate's at. So it's difficult for me to imagine going and working out and having to be like in the 140s or in the 150s to stay at a zone 2 cardio. But again, it's been all over my algorithm. And so I told myself with marathon training, knowing that it's a double of what a half marathon is, I need to be a little bit more disciplined. So I've been thinking about how I can incorporate a little bit more zone 2 cardio or close to it, especially in my recovery runs. Now I tried this today, and I tried to be really disciplined on the treadmill about watching my heart rate the whole time and making sure it was in 140 and 150, which turned out to be freaking impossible. I don't know about anyone else out there, but like, if I'm trying to keep my heart rate that low, I am going virtually so freaking slow that I feel like it's not even a workout, and I get so bored so fast. And I know I can't be the only one out there. And it's frustrating because I've been looking at all my workouts the past year and all my runs in the past year, and it seems like regardless if I'm going like an 8-minute pace, a 9-minute pace, even like a closer to 10-minute pace, my heart rate still seems to reach the 160s, 170s. And it's like, even if, it's like honestly not even that big of a difference if I'm sprinting versus if I'm just running a 9-minute mile. So I'm like, why am I bothering so much to worry about my heart rate? So I don't know, maybe I'll eat my words in the coming months, but I'm still trying to grasp the idea of how runners out there run so freaking slow all the time, or significantly slower than their usual pace to stay in that zone 2 zone. So we'll see. I'm gonna try at least once a week to run 20 to 30 minutes in zone 2. Now the funny thing is, if you go on the Instagrams and the TikToks of all these runners, they claim that only a 1/5 of your runs should be hard, or only a 1/10 of your run should be hard, and the 90% or the 80% should be easy. And I'm just like, that doesn't make any sense, because if you look at marathon training, you're supposed to do a tempo run, you're supposed to do fartlek runs, you're supposed to do long runs, you're supposed to do sprint interval runs. There is just no freaking way that you can make 10% of that hard and 90% of that easy, or even 20% of that hard, 80% of it easy. Like, to get those workouts in and have a full-time job, you're gonna have to run a little faster. And I don't know about you guys, but if you're running more than 20 miles a week, you're not gonna have the time in the day to make 80% of those runs be within zone 2. So I don't know, maybe I'm interpreting the information wrong. But if anyone out there like me feels bad because their heart rate's a lot higher than what their running coach says it should be, or what an influencer or TikToker says it should be, know that I'm right there with you. I don't know how to make my heart rate go below 160 or 170. And there'll be days where I go and run an hour and I felt amazing, felt like I could have kept a conversation the whole time, great pace, super comfortable, and I'll check my heart rate afterward, and it's still like an average of 170. So I don't know. So that was kind of my running thoughts today about heart rate, zones. How much do you really stress about it? Especially as a novice amateur runner, I can see how heart rate's a huge deal if you're in the pros, but if you're not, it's like, maybe it's just more important to focus on getting the workouts in, and instead of basing it so much on your heart rate, just basing it on how you feel. So, I don't know, hopefully someone out there relates to me. But anyway, so here we are, week 1. I'm hoping to just maybe vlog on occasions, maybe vlog after or before a long run, and hopefully vlog at the end of every week. I plan on Sundays always being a rest day for me, so Saturday is a great way to add up my miles for the week, see what workouts I missed, what I was able to get in, if I was able to get any strength training in. I just finished a little bit of arms just now. Another funny thing is, I told myself I was going to do strength training for a half marathon. About 3 weeks into my training, I gave up doing lower body weights, and I don't think I did a single lower body weight session for like the last 3 months of my training. And it still worked out for me, but I know that at a marathon you might not be able to pull that off as easily. So my goal is to at least do lower body weights once a week, because I know that I'm gonna need to strengthen those hip flexors and glutes and hamstrings if my body's gonna run 26 miles. So I think that's it today. I don't want to go over 10 minutes, but I'm excited. This is great. Running is my favorite thing, so I'm looking forward to this and excited to see where this goes. So who knows, I feel like 1,000 things can go wrong in marathon training, 1,000 things can go wrong when you're going out to go run 26 miles. So we'll see if things flare up, we'll see if I get injured, but I'm gonna give it my best. So here we go.